It's y'all! Greetings and salutations, YouTube. It's your boy, Uncle Jim.
There he is, Uncle Jim, Superman of St. Louis. Let's go!
Hey, I appreciate you coming through and all the love that you show. Look out to the left. What's going on? It's the best. The West Coast Wizard is out on those streets, potentially in maybe Gardenia. You know, that's an area in the sort of southwestern corner where you can spend time amongst the, you know, different cultures that you can find in Southern California. Ladies and gentlemen, he's out on those streets because you know he's looking for those hot beats. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Mr. Curtis Mrgij.
Curtis Magic up in Gardenia, sipping Aquafina. Let's go.
Oh, Fina, the plural of.
The Fina with the little dongly thing.
I got you.
Whatever
we
that
are
is.
Crushing cultures out here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming through. And we've got something special for you. Listen, we have been out on these YouTube streets and you have been giving us the suggestions in the comments and we have been appreciating them. And we came across a phenom.
Yeah.
A prodigy, if you will, in Tina S, who allegedly has not been on the guitar game for a while, but she has left us with the legacy, and we continue tonight with one more pieces, and that is by the fantastic group.
Come on,
Dragon Force, and we are going through the fire and flame. So let's check it out. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Take one.
She's chewing gum and watching Kardashians on the side.
It's ridiculous. It's not human. my. What? Listen, it is oftentimes a difficult task to get ready in the morning where you might have to brush your teeth.
Yeah.
And comb your hair, take a shower, just the normal routine.
It's a lot.
Could you imagine if all of that was happening at one time? You're in the shower, you're cooking a waffle, you're brushing your teeth, you're also, filing the latter half of your taxes. I mean,
Yeah.
The number of tasks that this young woman is engaged in at any one given time. Okay, let me just try and break it down as best I can. All right, you have an insanely complicated picking pattern for the you're going up the me for
that's
those
right.
Homestar Runner fans. And it is alternate picking at a I mean, almost like flash level speed.
Yeah.
And there's a level of control that you have to have because you're trying to hit every single note.
Yes.
I have seen Herman Lee at times playing this. Now, I don't know if he always plays it this way, but there's kind of a cheat component where it feels less like he's doing just a picking and more like he's doing more hammer-on speed technique that's going to use both hands at the same time. And this is not relying singularly on his, like picking pattern, with a pick and the, the note progression of the chord progression. So it almost looks like he's saying, okay, the speed at which we're doing this and the combination of notes and chords, I got to do something that, I don't want to call it a cheat because it's still him playing it, but it's not your traditional sense. So watching her do it single-handedly in the most traditional way with alternate picking, and in the midst of that, okay, she's activated and playing a wah pedal. So there's a foot coordination component that has to be a part of that. You've got to completely remember all of the changes at every single point when you're playing with a backing track, or else you're going to feel like you've, if you're off, especially with the pace and the speed that this song is on. If she had slipped at any point, it would have been a game over scenario. And, there was pinch harmonics going on. There was a lot of, obviously a lot of finger tapping technique that was instituted. I mean, it is not an easy guitar piece to play. In any context, and for her to do it kind of so flawlessly. And the issue is, I mean, it makes me angry to think about how effortlessly it looked like she was attacking this, right? I mean, it felt like, okay, I got this, and I'm wildly curious, and I don't know if we'll ever find out the truth, but like, how long did it take her to figure this out, to hear it, and to go, I can learn it, and how many hours of practice? Now, again, we know people in a lot of different walks of life that can, they seemingly have a sixth sense for some activity where somebody might need to really work hard at it. Like, you all have friends who are like a natural athlete, put them in any sport at any time. And they have the coordination and the ability cognitively to like, oh, okay, this is how this skill works. And I can translate it into doing this other thing. And then there's other people who are like, they're literally good at one thing because it's just 10,000 hours of doing that one thing.
Right.
And I don't know which one it is for her. It feels like it's both, right? Like I can imagine that she does a tremendous amount of preparation and a tremendous amount of work, but also there is a level of just, a God-given universal, however you want to label it, talent that no matter how many hours you and I put in, we're still not going to be able to hear it and do it in the way she did it. But brilliant. 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10, 100 out of 10, 1,000 out of 10. How many?
That's right.
Can you go out of 10? A million out of 10?
Yeah. And then
talk to a match. You're a musician.
I really
know music. You understand how this works.
In present Tina company, I prefer not to be referred to as a musician. I will not call myself.
You're a person who's heard music.
I've heard music. Man, Yeah, you said it all really, but you know, I would just say that we're a little bit we're kind of taking these videos in as they're recommended to us and whatnot. So I'm not really sure where this is at in her personal development. But it definitely feels like she went to that like next Neo level where she just kind of like, you know, the bullets are coming. And she's just like, no, you know, like it doesn't really, you know what I mean? Like there doesn't seem
absolutely.
She broke the system of and you could make an argument. I'm not making the argument, just saying there's some speculation about her life and her post YouTube kind of, or at least this very long hiatus. But like, what's left to do after you crushed on that level? Like, what's left to show us? You know, she might be like, look, I'm Jordan already, and I'm gonna try baseball out. You know?
Well, I brought this up, I think, in the last video we did of her when she did I don't know if it was a Beethoven piece or the For the Love of God, but I would love to hear an original piece.
Yeah.
I would love to hear her compositional style. I would love to know what are her influences, and is her music as compelling as the music she plays. I will never take one, and I can't. Who am I, right? To take one, even, you know, cork. You know, I'm trying to think of the smallest possible piece away from, and I don't know if a cork is the other side. Is it here?
It might be it's the other side, I think. Yeah, you're thinking a string. Sure,
whatever it is. Whatever it is, the smallest measurable amount. Somebody, you guys can get us in the comments. But
yeah,
I'm not taking any of that away from her. I am saying that, you know, on some level, there is a conversation to be had about, okay, your technique and your ability to, you know, mimic, to crow this thing.
Yeah.
You know, now granted, very few people can do it as flawlessly. What looks like as effortlessly as to covering another person's music is just really, you know, it is a skill within itself, because it's, you know, it's the ability to like memorize and to regurgitate with, you know, and equally be entertaining and not feel like robotic and so on and so forth. There's a guy named Killer Buckeye, and we haven't done any of his videos, and maybe we will in the future. And it was a guy that I was really, really, you know, enamored with years ago, especially when I was getting into the hardcore metalcore scene. And you know, you do prog rock and a lot of metalcore, and it had that sort of like you know, that speed metal component to him. And he did a lot of covers of a lot of the, you know, big bands at the time, obviously, you know, Lamb of God, and he would do Killswitch Engage, and he would do Seven Dust, and on all these different covers. And then one day I stumbled across a couple of his originals, and they were mind-blowing. The techniques he incorporated, but also the orchestration, the music itself. It was just, now again, all of the songs I had heard him play at that point, they were a band. There was vocals to them. There were lyrics. You know, you had this sort of entire understanding of the structure of the song. With this, it was just him playing. There was no, you know, I mean, obviously he had incorporated multi-track. He had a drum behind it, but probably a drum machine that he programmed or whatever. But you know, it was amazing, because it was like, okay, this guy doesn't just memorize, he knows music. So I guess that's the question that I ask is, you know, some people are, you know, brilliant in regurgitating other people's product. What can you do yourself? That's one of the reasons why we love improv, and why we're such fans of that type of performance, because the onus is, can you create something unique, or are you just, you know, so it's kind of an existential question, you know, in the larger sense when it comes to, you know, art, but in the more specific sense, like, you know, what are we watching? Because we don't know a lot of, because again, if we go to Harry Mack, if we go to Marcus Valtry, if we go to some of the other people that we've done reactions to, we're seeing, even, you know, even Pete and Bass and all those guys, they're creating their own music. This is again, 100%, please recognize, no shade. against Tina at all. She is a once in a lifetime kind of a comet, right? Just in terms of her skill set. But I'm also curious, like what makes them tick, you know?
That's right. And
any thoughts on that?
Only just that, you know, if God is just, she can't write for crap. You know, like that's what her.
If there's any balance,
right?
If there's any balance in the universe,
yeah, she's like, I can't write. You know, I mean, it's pure speculation. Maybe somebody has an inside scoop, in which case, please leave a comment. We would like to know for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, look, she's an anomaly. And
what's your opinion on that side of it? What's your opinion on that side of it? Like seeing, you know, okay, for instance, you know, we've done our fair share of like theater and you know, television auditioning and stuff. And there's one thing to do your, you know, you're breathing life into somebody else's idea.
Right. Yeah.
What is it like, you know, trying to create your own?
Do you know, honestly, so then my knee-jerk impression, and again, this is no shade. She's a very special talent. Like this is, right. It's purely speculative, but kind of, you know, we joke about how effortless it is for her and kind of almost how checked out she almost seems sometimes. That might just be her. I don't know this young lady for anything, but there's a part of me that does think like, maybe she's like, she crushes this and it's not satisfying for her artistically to keep doing this. And maybe she's like, maybe my thing isn't music because I don't compose. Like I'm again, pure speculation. But if I had to guess, I would say she's not a writer, and
maybe not.
And she's out there right now searching for the thing she loves as much as you know, as much as we love watching her play. She's looking for that thing that she loves doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And we don't know her background, where she's from, what kind of cultural, pressure she might be under, or responsibilities she has. So, you know, the fact that people have said time and again, she's off, you know, she went to school or she's in school or she finished her degree. And I believe it was in science or math or something along those lines. Right. You know, maybe there was an obligation that's beyond just going, well, I'm going to create in this context. But yeah, you know, I never really thought about it like that. You know, I mean, I think there are people that we can point to in life that they had a requisite skill for something, but it wasn't even really their passion.
Right.
It was just something that they did. And part of me is, again, this is again, wild speculation and I have no proof of this. Part of me wonders if maybe exactly what you're saying is right. If her drive was her, like, man, this instrument is a wand and I'm going to create magic with it, why would you step away? You know, again, not knowing she may have obligations. She may have a million reasons why she doesn't. And I know people have posted, there's been some interviews out there with her. I don't know exactly if I've gleaned enough information from those interviews to know exactly what her motivation and stuff is, but it's just something I'm curious about. But just an amazing video. We appreciate you guys coming through and letting us know about it. You know, when you guys discover this kind of thing, we're interested in wanting to pursue more about it.
100.
We didn't even talk about like the sort of ramifications, you know, from the educational system of what Dragon Force really represents in Fire and Flames. I mean,
we'll have to circle back. I mean,
obviously you're talking about like,
the bullet points are
base 10 math.
Exactly.
You know, the idea that like, should there be more of a, you know, like pragmatic component to the education system?
That's right.
In the United States.
How genderized and racialized is standardized testing? I mean, it was all obvious in every other note, at least.
Everything that this song represents has to do with like what you know, the children are our future.
Right.
Teach them.
I believe that.
Help them lead the way.
Let them. Just let them.
That's it for us. We appreciate you guys coming through. Madge, what do you got? You got any kind of a, you know, sort of like a, you know, like we're looking for some kind of a musical sort of a, you know, kind of a, you know, summarization, like a touch point that lets us go off into the.
Tina S. She's a magic horse. She's the best playing Dragon Force.
Now, when someone is a magical horse, it doesn't mean they look like a horse. They have a horse face.
No, they're just they're
a mystical creature.
Pegasus like.
maybe a unicorn. Ladies and gentlemen, appreciate you coming through. This is the Curtis Magic and Uncle Jid show, and we offer what we can, which is a lot of love and a whole lot of giggles and a little bit of what the world needs right now, and that is peace.
Yo, you know I'ma run this, kid. Shouts out to Curtis Magic and Uncle Jid. Yeah, when I do my lyrics, dog, I'm repping for the faction. Hit them up online for the fly ass reactions. Yeah, out to him, I be giving mad love. Yo, shout to Uncle Jid, I'ma give you the plug.